This is Jeff Al Gilbert, and I'm talking about the first 30 days in your 90-day plan. And for those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing over 40 years. I share a lot of what I've learned in my journey on these live calls. I started in this business totally broke. I had to sell a junk truck for $400 and put $200 into my business. And now, so for the last 27 years, I've been able to be full-time in network marketing. It's been an awesome journey. And stay on if you want to learn more about some of what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to give some acknowledgments out to some folks joining. And who will come out of the woods first? Christine Rogers, how are you? Christine, I hope you're doing well and staying warm this winter. Daisy down in Miami, it's certainly warm down there. Good to see you. Oscar, what's up? How are you? How are you doing? And let's see, who else is out there? Peter in Belgium. Nice to see you, Peter. It's still pretty early out in Belgium right now, right? Not too late. And then Leah from Miami. Nice to see you. Jerry West, what's up in Buffalo, New York? Good to see you, my friend. Hey, Mary in Ireland, one of my favorite countries. I was talking about Ireland just yesterday. Love that place. Good to see you, Mary. I hope you're doing well. Hope to see you somewhere soon. And Jose, yeah, nice to, it has been a while. Nice to see you. And Christine, when is my book coming out? It's actually out. It's on Amazon. It's called Reaching the Peak. I was looking for a copy here on the counter, but I guess it's somewhere else, but it's called Reaching the Peak. Hey, Jenny in North Carolina, nice to see you. Lupita in Texas, good to see you. Jose Berdi, what is up, dude? Good to see you. Hope you're well. Elena, nice to see you as well on the call. So we're just, how many days are we away? Oh my gosh. We're almost, this year's almost gone, and we're going not only into a new year, we're going, hey, Juan in Chicago, nice to see you. Jody in Alabama, but we're going into a new decade. A new decade. Think about it. And that's why I'm talking about the 90-day goal. Danny, nice to see you. And Marta in Puerto Rico, nice to see you, Marta. Rick in the state of Maine, good to see you. Alan, good to see you up in New Jersey. Hope you're doing well. So why don't we jump into this? You know what it's like. I mean, the holidays, there's been a lot of stuff going on, but I'm looking forward to now embracing to go into this new year, this new decade, and with a lot of excitement. I mean, in the United States alone, there's 6 million people involved in network marketing. And so it's quite a lot globally when you think about it. I don't know the exact number, but I mean, we're talking about, I mean, over 100 million people that are involved globally in this profession. The thing is, what I find is that when people go into the new year, they just sort of crash land into the new year. They went into it with low speed, and it takes them almost the whole month of January to wake up and get their downlines to wake up and say, you know, you need to set some goals. And that's how most do it. And it's amazing. And I've watched this for decades. You know, I've watched these patterns. And then these leaders wonder why they struggle. So the thing is, you still have time now to really to think about all this. Hey, Denny, nice to see you. And Derry, nice to see you. Good to see you. You got time to think about this, though. Not a lot of time. I mean, you know, this is a good time right now to really think about our goals and what we want to do in this new year, this new decade that's approaching. And here's the thing. I don't want you to be ungrateful. So whatever good that you have had, despite the fact you may not be where you want to be, the goals that you set, let's say, just this time last year, and here you are, fast forward a year from now, and you're here today, and you're saying, I'm off on my goals, I didn't achieve what I wanted, and we're looking at lack, we're looking at what we didn't accomplish. Forget that. I want you to find value in what you have. Do you have a downline? Be grateful that you have a downline. Do you have business in that downline? People that are excited about your products and services? Then I want you to be excited about that. I want you to be grateful. You cannot have more until you appreciate what you have. You can try it. There's this universal principle that just seems to work out that way. Okay? And it is about having an attitude of gratitude. And so, if we want more, then let's be thankful for what we have. And then more will come our way. But having said that, you just understand this. The nature of the leader is never to be satisfied. You cannot satisfy the leader, it seems like. It's never good enough. I can remember those years when I used to think that way. Yeah, we had a good year, but it could have been better. Yeah, we grew by 20%, but we could have grew by 30. Wrong thinking. And I'm guilty of it, okay? So I'm talking about that from experience. I had to learn these things that I need to have gratitude and appreciation for what I have if I want to have more. And we have to inculcate that into our leaders. So when we think about, like the 90-day plans, are they really realistic? Are they really even worth talking about? Are they really worth doing? The answer is yes. We've got a bunch of thumb-sucking trainers out there. They call themselves trainers. I guess they call themselves authorities in this business, I think. 90-day plans don't work. People don't stick with goals. No. We got to give them, the 10-day plan. What can you do 10 days out of this month? It's like, it's like they got to weaken these people, so that they can suck up to these leaders and suck up to their trainings. That's not the crowd I'm talking to today, I hope. Because I'm telling you, those kind of people aren't going to go anywhere anyway. They're going to buy a little product and they're going to make a little money. But for some reason, there's people out there that, you've heard of the 80-15-5, but some have taken that concept way off the charts. That the 80%ers, are just that crowd. And it's all about, everything we got to do is we got to adjust our goals, adjust our training to that crowd. I'm sorry, I don't do that. I don't do that. You're talking to the guy that used to be a janitor that mopped floors at night. You're talking to the guy that was broke. You're talking to the guy that had nothing. You're talking to the guy that had to sell a junk truck. I did not sell myself out for an excuse. I didn't want to get to the end of my life and say, well, the reason why I couldn't do it was because I lacked this, because I lacked that, because I need impotent goals. No. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And you're telling me I'm the only person on the planet Earth that felt that way, that went through this and made something of myself? No, I don't think so. I believe there's millions of other people like me out there. I believe they're out there. And I don't want to adjust my training just so they can go to my lives, buy whatever I'm selling, and I'm not selling anything, but many do. I don't want to do that, and I'm not serving you if I do. This training is going to be for people who want to be more, do more. And yes, I agree that most people that set these 90-day plans, the goals, they don't achieve them. I agree. But that does not mean we shouldn't do it. If we never set a goal, then we're never going to stretch. If we don't have a goal, we're not going to be accountable. That's what we have to understand. See, what this does, it does two things. And you've heard me say this in past lives before. The goal is not to reach the goal. The plan is not to reach the plan. The goal is what you become stretching through this process, number one. And number two, it increases your team. It increases the leadership, the proficiency. It increases the quality of your leaders in your team. It's what they become too in this process. And yes, you grew in business, you grew in numbers, you grew in volume. You might even hit that rank, but maybe not the goal. That's okay. See, the problem is we set it up as a punishment if we don't achieve the very goal. And based on the past, since we never did do that, why do it? Well, great, then nobody's ever going to achieve anything. Nobody's ever going to do anything. No, we have to redefine the definition of failure. Redefine what it means when you don't achieve the goal. You're not a failure because you became more, your people became more, because you grew in volume, in numbers, and all that. Why is that bad? It's not. It's not. I can go back 21 years ago when I started my 90-day plan. And so tonight, for now, this is going to be about new people and existing leaders that have had teams for years, why you should have a 90-day plan. And so I can tell you that 21 years ago, I was new in a company. And I did not bring over a downline. I had to start all over again from scratch. And so did I have fear? Yes, I had fear. Fear that I would fail. And I did not like the picture that failure painted. So as Tony Robbins so greatly says, pain is a great motivator. So I had a lot of pain pushing me. And so whether it's pleasure pushing you, the house on the hill, the car, whatever your goals are, or if it's the fact that you were in, like me, in total desperation, that was it doesn't matter what the motivator is. The thing is, you got to tap into that motivation. And that's what I did 21 years ago. So I had to start all over again, and I had to go back through my list, people who said no to me in the past, people who were busy doing something else, people who were in other companies. I also did some, affordable advertising. I was not a big warm market person, though I'm a big believer in tapping into other people's warm markets. I'm just saying that my warm market was non-existent. So the thing was, that's what I did. And so I kept it very simple. And that is a few basic tools, and that was it. So there was a audio presentation of the product, and at that time, a simple website, though there wasn't much on it. Mostly it was the message about the product that really drove it. And so when I called somebody to see if they were open, and I would give them that audio message and follow up with them, or listen to it with them on the phone. I did that because we had what we called hotlines back then. Today you just use a video, right? But And then that was it. And then it was like, hey, how do you see yourself? Using the product, or can you use extra money? And the answer was always, in most cases, yeah, I can use some extra money. Awesome, awesome. Let's get started. I look forward to working with you. We're going to have a lot of fun and make some money. I kept the message very simple. Well, you know what? After 90 days of identifying a few key drivers, I had 800 people in my downline in 90 days. After 90 days, I was exhausted, yes. After 90 days, I was burned out, yes. And yes, I was full-time. But for those of you that are not, that doesn't mean you can't do a 90-day run part-time. You can. You can. I'm just telling you what I did. And I'm telling you how I did it. And so after 90 days, I had 800 people in my downline. Now, what's important about that is 21 years later, the speed that I still have in my organization is a result of what I did in that 90 days. Had I not did that 90 days, I don't know where I would be in network marketing. You see, success loves speed. It loves speed. There's nothing worse than the go steady, go slow, approach. Doesn't work. That is a different definition of death. You will die. You have to create urgency. And that's the beauty of it. If you're just getting started in your 90 days, urgency is paramount to your success. If the people you're prospecting think that your opportunity will be good, just as good a year from now as today, you're not going to go anywhere. And for those of you that have existing teams and you've been in your company for years, the principle remains true. Where is the sense of your urgency in your message when you talk to people? I mean, it needs to be like this is a secret. It's like a secret stock that you have, and you know it's about to go ballistic on Wall Street and all that. And hey, and I'm letting you know about it. It creates that kind of excitement. But urgency is so important. And urgency has to do with why your company is so great, why your product is so great, and why they need to do this now. Why that's so urgent. Because the word is going to get out, isn't it? And eventually your product's going to be a household name, a household product. And my only question to you is, what percentage of the market do you want? Urgency is missing with so many leaders today. But in the 90-day run, especially your first 30, 60 days, whatever, urgency is so important in your message, and it's missing with most. So the thing about it is, I want us to feel different about defining failure when you start a 90-day run. Feel different and understand that the goal is not the goal. The plan is not necessarily the plan as much as what you become, what your team becomes, how you grow despite it all, even if you didn't hit your goal, and all the good it accomplished. See, I did not have a goal to hit 800 people my first 90 days. That was not my goal. I can tell you my goal was to hit $5,000, get up to a $5,000 income. That was my goal. I wanted to pay the bills. That was my goal. So, and did I hit that? Yes, I did hit that after 90 days. But I didn't have a team that was I didn't think about it propelling me forward to greater things. But we have to understand what the good this creates is, again, it establishes speed and momentum in your team. And that'll only take you so far. Eventually that'll plateau. And that's okay. Everybody plateaus. That's healthy, actually. Because if you're always on massive action, if that's always the speed, eventually you do burn out. So the thing is, what's great about plateaus is that's a time to take care of those new members, that new organization that you have, and to get them solid in your business. Because if you're always getting new people, but we're not stabilizing those people that have come in, then you're just going to have a big back door. You're going to have massive attrition. And so, yeah, you grew, You hit it. I've known people that just skyrocket and hit some great numbers, and then they lose it all. That's not what I want to see happen to you. It's very important in a 90-day plan that you make sure that you stabilize those numbers. So plateau that's not bad. So look at it like this. It's like, look at it like a shuttle. If you're a new person or whether you have an existing team, when you want to do a 90-day push, you got 2 million pounds of fuel that's got to push you out of the atmosphere. Everything that's pulling you back, everything that's fighting you, everything. It takes a special push. But once you get outside that atmosphere, it takes very little fuel to run, and you're flying. That's the beauty of it. And that's what I love about 90-day plans. So the thing is, when people, and this is a problem, that most people, when they look at 90-day plans, they try to look at it mechanically. Mechanically. If you do these numbers, you will have this results. And if you do it for this period of time, then this is what you have. It looks great on paper. It looks great on paper. But I want to suggest to you, and nothing wrong with plans. There's nothing wrong with, for example, if you want to hit a rank position, there's certain requirements, right? It usually involves legs, and it usually involves volume. But there are requirements. Nothing wrong with that. And then therefore you need to know what's required if you want to hit that rank position, right? Great. That's important. But I'm going to tell you the biggest part behind the 90-day plan, especially your first 30 days, is psychological. Most of this is psychological. I'm telling you, it is. And if you tap into that, then you'll understand that it's not complicated. People want to make these 90-day plans so freaking complicated. If you would have saw me 21 years ago, you would have saw there was nothing complicated about me. You might say, well, that guy's a little crazy, man, Yeah, that's right, because it's psychological, isn't it? So much of it is psychological, and I knew that. And so if you would have saw me back 90 days ago, you would have saw not a computer on my desk. You would have saw a paper list and a phone. That was all I had. And that was it. And I did not leave the driveway. I did not do a single meeting. Pay attention to that. No, I didn't leave the driveway. I didn't do a single meeting. And then 90 days later, I had a team established for the next 21 years. Amazing. But so much of it was psychological. I didn't have a blueprint in front of me. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, none of that. No. I knew what I needed to do. And most of your plans, when you look at it, whatever rank position you're going for, it only requires a few legs that perform. That's it. To max out your plan, usually, it could be, for some of you, it might be 3. For some, it might be 4. I think, I can't, some of the bigger companies that I've seen that have been around for many years, it might be 5. But regardless of what it is, you know that. But it's the psychological part that we have to understand when we're kicking off a 90-day, and especially your first 30. And that's what I want to talk about today is your first 30. So here's the thing. Consider the principle of definition. This is principle 1. This is psychology 1, if you will. The principle of definition. You have to have a very clear reason why you want to do it, or you won't do it. So, are you wanting to grow to a rank? Maybe you haven't hit your first rank. If you're a new person, then that's the very thing that I would encourage a new person to do, is go after a rank that's achievable. Now, let me throw out a number. Let me just throw out, let's say if that's 3,000 points, then, and that is your goal in your first 30 days, then don't think about any position beyond that, where you want to be in the scheme of things. That's the only position matters, is that first leadership position. Go after it. Focus on it. That is your goal. And nothing else really matters. But focus on it. So is it a new rank that you want to achieve? Is it a new, maybe more income that you want to achieve? Then if you want to make more income, then you're going to have to grow your team. You're going to have to grow in rank, because usually what comes along with rank, when you hit a new rank, is usually perks and benefits, right? You either get paid deeper in your organization, you qualify for bonuses, you qualify for trips, whatever that is. But in this principle of definition here, that you know, for it to work, is that you've got to get very clear on why you want to do this. Or it might be you want to grow your downline. You're at, let's say you got X amount of people in your team, whether it's 100, 1,000, 100,000. You know, you want to grow your organization. Okay, so get clear on that. Get clear on the people that are in your organization. Or maybe you want to grow your sales volume. You've been stuck at a ceiling, and maybe you're at 100,000, maybe you're at $250,000. You want to push it. You want to go further. You know, it's like you're sick of always being stuck at that volume. Whatever that volume is, then get clear about what your goals are. That's very important in the beginning. And then what about showing up differently? Maybe you've been a sort of a standoffish kind of leader. You know, you let your upline pretty much take the stage at conventions. They get a lot of the recognition. You're just sort of sitting out there in the audience. And yes, you do go up and get an award when your rank position is called to come up on stage or whatever, you know. But now you're different. Now you're sort of tired of being in the shadows. Now you want to show up as a real leader. You want to be recognized as who you are. You don't want to stay the way you are anymore. You really want to declare yourself. And you want to shout it out. So get clear about why you want to do this. Why do you want to do a 90-day run? And specifically your first 30 days, what you're willing to do that first 30 days. What are you willing to do? What sacrifices are you willing to make? And that brings me to the second principle, and that's called clarity. Again, so much of this is psychological. It's not a blueprint action plan, because everybody has different requirements, but that doesn't matter, because that has really very little to do with it. It's the psychology that drives this. And the clarity has to do not on the goals that I just stated. That is in the relationships with the people that you have. Whether you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or you have a family, you're married, and you have children, you have responsibilities. It's really important, if you are going to do an all-out push, if you're a new person and you're wanting to do an all-out push, then you have to let those people that you have relationships know what you're doing, because your behavior is about to change. Why so? Because now you're going to do something that you don't normally do. And that is, you're going to do more than what you've ever done in the past. Or again, if you're new, maybe you've been involved in other things. You're going to have to sit down with your wife, your kids, and say, hey, you know, I just joined this company and I'm doing this, and I don't want to play small. I don't want to come in with meager, effort and expect maximum results. It's not going to happen. We want to have a different life, then I got to show up differently. And I got to do it, starting in January. Now, you can do 90-day goal setting any time of the year. But since we got January coming up in a few days, let's talk about that. So if you're that person, then you tell your spouse that, you tell your kids that, I'm going to need your support. I'm going to need your help. I'm not going to be as available as I was in the past. Now, this is short term. I'm not doing this forever. Okay, so we're talking about temporary sacrifice here. Temporary. And the benefit, and this is what has to be stressed, is this benefits the family. This benefits, or if you're have a boyfriend, girlfriend, or you don't have children yet, this benefits our marriage. This is going to help us. See, the focus is on us, not on you. That's the important thing. So when we talk about clarity, we have to get realistic that when you set a 90-day plan, it affects not just you, it affects those relationships you have. A lot of people go into these things and it's like then they're just ignoring their spouse, they're ignoring their kids or whatever, and they're like, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, you know? Or, you know, if it's your girlfriend, then she's thinking, hey, is he seeing someone else that I don't know about? See, clarity is so important. And so we have to understand it does affect other people. And so since it's going to, we need to be very upfront before we even get started and talk to them about it. That way we get the support. That's the important thing. I can tell you when I did my 90-day run 21 years ago, absolutely, it consumed me every day. Every day. I went from what we call 8 to faint, 8 in the morning till I faint. I didn't shave a lot in those days, you know. It would have looked like a horror flick, you know, if you'd have saw me going down the hallway at night. But I'm just telling you, it affects it. And again, for those of you, I'm you know, that can't make that kind of commitment, that's okay. I'm going to come back to you later about what you can do. But I'm talking about for people who want to give it an all-out massive action push. Just understand so much of this is psychological. But clarity is important because it affects those relationships, those people that you love. And they need to understand what you're doing. Now here's the third principle, and that's permission. The principle of permission. When you want to launch a 90-day plan, your first 30 days, permission is very important. Permission is about collaboration. That is, if you're the only one running in this 90-day plan, it's not going to work. This is not a solo effort. If you go into this alone, you know, it's going to be tough. Now, you'd say, well, Jeff, that's what you did 21 years ago. Yeah. I didn't do it throughout my 90 days by myself. I tell you that. I'll tell you my first 30 days is I had to establish or define drivers. I had to find drivers. Now, once I had those drivers, what did I do with those drivers? I drove them. That's what I did. I locked into each driver that I had. And so that was only a handful of people, only a handful of drivers. My first 30 days, I probably didn't have more than 6 drivers. And then in my second 30 days, yes, I developed a few more drivers that I brought on. Because you don't know who is going to stay with you long term. And everybody performs differently. Some will do a lot, some will do a little, and some won't do anything. They're just going to talk the game. They're going to talk it, but they aren't going to walk it. And it takes time to establish who are the real drivers. So permission is about collaboration, and that is getting people on board with your 90-day plan. So my first 30 days of my 90 days, when I identified a driver and he says, hey, I'm in, I'm willing to do this, tell me, what are your goals? What do you want to achieve in your life? What would you like to achieve out of this? Blah, 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 blah. So, you know, I'm taking notes, writing down what they're talking about. Okay, awesome. Okay, tell me your schedule. Let's work a schedule together. So they tell me what days that they have free. Okay, these are the times that we can do calls together. Okay, great. I need you to make that list, make that gold mine list of contacts that you have. Don't discriminate. I don't care how rich they are. Put them on the list, and I want to go over that list with you. So there's a certain onboarding process that we have when we bring people in. So yes, when you're first starting, again, you may not have an existing base to collaborate with because you're still identifying your drivers. And if you've been in your company for a year or more or years, and you say, well, Jeff, I really still don't have any drivers. Okay, fine. Then your first 30 days of your 90 days, again, is going to be about that very process, that you still need to be busy prospecting. What happens with most people is they fall into managing, and then they're like, hey, everybody, January's just a few days away. Do you have any dreams? I know you got dreams. I know you can do this. I believe in you. I believe in you. You know, you become the pom-pom girl, you know, the cheerleader and all that. That's what most people do. I'm going to tell you, it's easier to give birth than to resurrect. And the best thing you can do is go get a new team. They might wake up and become jealous. She don't She don't give me time anymore. Then they start, waking up and doing the things that you've been asking them to do. So again, that first 30 days of your 90 days might be for you who have had a team for years. You simply have to identify some new drivers. For those that are new, you need to identify drivers. And that's the process of your first 30 days. That's what you want to go through. And then when you bring these people on, again, permission that you're asking them to be involved in a 90-day run. Not your 90-day run. It's not yours. It's theirs. See, that's the problem. It's like, hey, and I've seen this with leaders. Hey, I'm so glad you're on my team. Hey, I need to get to the next rank, so I really need your help. Wrong mindset. Wrong mindset. It is never about us. In the 90-day plan, it's not about us. It's about them. Tap into their 90-day plan. You find a driver, okay. Get permission. Hey, you're serious about this? Have you ever thought about a 90-day run? Establish the speed for your team. Be the example and watch your team explode. When they get that, when they understand that speed is very important to their growth, and they say, I'm in it. They're in what? They're in your 90-day plan? No, they're in their 90-day plan. And so you might be starting at the same starting line together. You're in your 90-day, they're in their 90-day. You bring in some other leaders, same thing. That's the way it's got to be, but you have to tap into, again, what their goals are, what their wants are. And then understand what we're going to do is we're going to do this burst of energy, this burst of activity. We're going to create excitement. We're going to create results. We may not achieve all the results that we set as goals, but we're going to become so great and we're going to achieve so much more together. That's the attitude. We're not setting this up to feel bad later about it and say, yeah, 90-day plans don't work. You get what I'm saying here? And that's the attitude that we need to have. So again, the principle of permission, asking them permission to come aboard, come aboard what I'm doing, have a 90-day run. I'll run with you. If you have a Facebook group, you have leaders in your group, put the word out. Find out. If you've got different lines that are in one of your groups, ask anybody who's wanting to run. Who wants to really run hard for 90 days, give an all-out push, make such a difference in your life and in your business? Who's up for it? Let me know. Because they don't always have to be new people. And so if you have an existing group, then you want to tap into those leaders, into their warm markets, tap into those leaders, and run with those leaders to do what? To build a strong enough foundation so that in your second month you have something to work with. That you really have something to work with. Really, that's the whole point of the first month, is really to, without a certainty, with a certainty rather, to know who is on board with you. Who are your drivers? So that when the second month comes, you're really blowing it out. That's the key, is identifying the drivers. I mean, you want to become a six-figure income earner, then you're going to need about 24 drivers in your organization total if you're serious about becoming a six-figure income earner. You want to be a seven-figure income earner? Double that. Double that. Because I can think just off the top of my head that many in my organization after 21 years. I know who those people are. I know what countries they're in. So the principle of permission is very important, getting people to buy into the value of a 90-day plan, a 90-day run. And if they say, well, I only got 30 days, man, that's all I got. Take the 30 days. If that's all they can give you is 30 days, take the 30 days. At least you got somebody that's wanting to run for 30. This thing is not set in stone that it has to be 90. I'm saying put that out there. Put that out there. And even if they have to drop off 30 days because they got commitments that they have to make, who do they have as a result of you running with them those 30 days? Who are those people that joined with them? Those are going to be the people that you're going to be working with, especially your second month. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to be busy. You're going to be busy. Great things come from this if you do it right. So here's here's the principle 4, and that's the principle of respect. And the principle of, again, this is psychological. A lot of this. We have to understand that we have to respect those leaders, those people that join you, that are new, those leaders that have been a part of your journey so far, a year, 2 years, or more. You have to respect that their goals are not your goals. I mean, you may have some very strong financial goals. That may not be the most important thing to them. Their family might be. They'd say, look, I'm willing to go to a point, but when it comes to my weekends, sorry, that's going to be for my family. I'm not going to give the business that time. They may just have different values, and that's part of the hierarchy of their happiness that we have to respect. And we can't say, well, yeah, but wouldn't your family be a lot happier if you brought in more money and you could do this or that? That's not going to help to undermine it. So we just have to accept people are where they are and love them for it, make them feel welcome, and just whatever time they can dedicate is what they can dedicate. So if they say, well, listen, I don't normally put in 5 hours a week, but I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to really push it 90 days. I'm willing to put in 5 hours a week. That's 1 hour a night during the week. I'm not giving up my weekends because I told you that's for my family, okay? But I normally don't do that. I normally do about 1 hour a week. That's not normally how I work the business because I don't know. I get distracted. But this time I'm really going to push myself. This time I'm going to kick my butt. This time I'm going to make myself do this, and I'm going to do 1 hour a day, Monday through Friday. I'm going to do it. And if they want to use some of their weekends, fine. Whatever the language is, that's acceptable. And that we have to respect that. And praise it and say, wow, you're going from 1 hour a week to 5 hours a week, and you're willing to commit that 90 days? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Great things are going to happen with you. Not only you, but your team. Your team you're going to show up totally different to your team. And how are they going to start showing up? Well, they're going to start wanting to be like you. What kind of impact is that going to have on your volume, on your rank, on your income? It's going to be major. John, this is exciting. I'm so excited to hear you say this. Okay, that's the language. And we praise it. We don't say, well, if you want to be like me, if you want to run with the big dogs, you're going to have to give me all-out commitment, That's the old language. That worked many years ago. That don't work anymore. They used to have a saying, you want to run with the big dogs, you got to quit peeing with the puppies. Terrible language, Terrible language. You want to run in my circle, you're going to have to get up to the next rank, and then I'll take your calls. That doesn't work anymore. So much of this is psychology, friends. So the principle of respect, whatever they can do. We're talking about, in this case, part-time people. We're talking about them stretching, doing more than what they would normally ever do. So if they're willing to give you that, then let's praise them for it. Talk to them about a 90-day plan. Because, and again, their time, their circumstances, a whole lot different than a person that can be full-time. And a person that can do it full-time, that's great. Good will come from it all. And if you encourage it, and then understand, I don't buy into this thinking that 90-day plans don't work, people won't set those kind of goals. No, it's been the definition of it that's been so wrong for so many years. That people are being set up for failure. They're not. They're being set up to stretch. They're being set up to grow. Their teams are going to grow. Their volume is going to grow. Are they going to hit all their goals? Probably not. They don't have to. That's not the important thing here. What's important is growth. And what's great about this is as they end their 90-day run, guess what? So many new people are just joining. New people in your team. Why would you not encourage them to have a 90-day run? Absolutely. Let's say yours ends, so by March, your 90-day run is up. But look how many new people are coming in that can begin in April. And what role can you play facilitating and helping them, because you have a lot of experience now in what it takes to make a 90-day run work. Keep in mind, onboarding process, very important. When we bring these people in, have a video. You should have a video to, and again, don't overwhelm them. Don't get them on all these different social media rock star calls about what they got to do. And you want to really confuse them, overwhelm them, just do that. That'll work. That'll blow them out. Okay? Simple activities is all we want. And that is, we want them not posting on their Facebook pages about their new company and their new products, blowing out their warm market. Make the list, go over with the list, okay? Help them to understand the simple steps of inviting a prospect to look at your opportunity, then the tool that you're going to use, whether that's a meeting, a video, whatever you're doing currently where you are or what you do. 3 is the follow-up. And then 4, bring them home. Bring them home. Enroll them. I don't want them getting on all these experts who are going to teach them the psychology of success and screw them up so that they have to be unscrewed to buy their products so they're not screwed anymore. Why? It was so simple 21 years ago. And now we got all this noise, okay? So let's eliminate the noise in your 90 days. When you onboard these people, a few steps is all they need. What are those tools? And I just highlighted what they were. That prospect list, that tool they're going to use, being available for 3-way call support, things like that. We want the process to be simple, and that's the key. Simplicity is what will make you grow. And so, again, onboarding them and not confusing them. Most important, principle of respect. Whatever they can give you is what we appreciate. We value that. And then understand the principle, and this is the 5th, and that's timing. So much of this is psychological, that everybody's going to be on different cycles of timing. You could be into your second 30 days of your 90 days. And then you got new people that have come in as a result of that first 30 days. We want to get them onboarded with this same process. You need to look at what's going on in your team. Look at your reports in your back office. Talk to your leaders and let them know when you have somebody new come aboard, introduce them to you. Maybe they could add you in a Facebook Messenger chat. You can welcome that person, send them maybe a voice message so they can hear your voice. People get shocked when I do that. You're like, oh my God, I heard his voice. It's amazing. But just, you got to come across real, authentic, that you want to support that person. You're so glad that they're in your team, and you're so excited that they too are going to begin their 90-day run, their first 30 days, following simple methods that you have laid out. And that's all they have to do. Simple goals. Things that are very achievable, hitting that first rank position and celebrating that in your Facebook group, celebrating their efforts, celebrating, the smallest act of achievement. They just sponsored their first person or their first customer. You got to create the culture. The culture is so, addictive, because once they start feeling that appreciation, then they're excited to even do more, and they believe they can do it. That's the thing. So, so 80% of your time, your first 30 days, is going to be spent in the prospecting process. You're looking for drivers, whether you're new, whether you're old, I don't care. if you have an existing team, and let's say you do have good leaders, then run with them. But at the same time, be scouting out new leaders. You've heard me say this, that we're in the football season, American football, that is. Overseas, they call soccer football too, right? But I'm talking about American football. You remember the movie Jerry Maguire? Remember that expression, show me the money, Jerry, show me the... Jerry was the scout. And so what he did was he would go out and scout new talent, right? And then find a ball team that would be a team that would be a good fit for that. And that's what he did to make money. You play different roles. First, you're the Jerry Maguire because you're wanting to scout out talent. You want to find people to show them the money, the income that they can earn. Once you've got enough drivers in place, then what do you have to do? You can't sit on the bleachers. You have to get in the game. And you're that quarterback. You're the quarterback that's going to be able to onboard new people, show them the steps that they need to do, and make sure that they're doing that. You play a supportive role too. You do. But then later, once you have accumulated enough drivers, you're not the quarterback anymore. No, you're the coach. You're the coach. Because you ever notice that the coaches during a ball game, they're constantly looking at these charts. They're looking at these iPads. They got a headset on. They're talking to different other coaches on their teams as well, and that do specific things. But they're always analyzing things. And then when the quarterback comes in, he's sitting down. Then they're going over the chart together before he goes back out on the field again. You ever noticed all that? They spend time analyzing. You'll get to that point in your business. And then later on, if you find that you got a leg that's dragging, that you really need to engage, guess what? The coach hat goes off, the Jerry Maguire hat goes back on. Go find some drivers, show them the money. It's a process, friends. It's all psychological, it really is. But so much of your 30 days it's not so much about the blueprint. Do this, do that, and you'll get this result. Yes, I know there's things required in ranked positions and certain volume requirements. So obviously you got to do numbers. But what I'm saying, so much of this is psychological. It really is. Follow these principles. I'll give you a shout out, and I'll do it. I'm gonna do it tomorrow because I don't want to do it on Monday, but I'll do it tomorrow on your second 30 days and what that should look like. So I'm grateful that so many of you were able to get on this call. Hey, Mindy, nice to see you. I really hope that you're excited about the new year. And don't listen to anybody. When they tell you 90-day plans don't work, they're lying. I'm a perfect example of why a 90-day plan works. And I did that 21 years ago. And I'm still running off the speed of what I did 21 years ago. The team I had is a result of that 90-day plan I did 21 years ago. But these thumb-sucking baby trainers, I call them baby trainers, that want to just cater toward let's set a goal to, maybe 10 days out of this month, we can help you get your first customer, that's where a lot of these people are going to. And you know what? People they're not that way. I know there's too many people like me out there. And you know what? You're only 30 days away from that person, 60 days away from that person, 90 days away from that person. And believe me, I'm not interested in baby steps. I mean, I just want to get it done. And a lot of people want to get it done. Get it done means do something big that's going to propel me into the future. And you can't do that with some small, little effort, non-committal effort, and expect maximum results. And that's what a lot of people have been selling. They've been selling, no effort, get maximum results. And that doesn't sell. It doesn't work. But I'll tell you what, it's rewarding. It's rewarding. You'll be tired. You'll be tired, but it's a good tired. And the great thing about it is it's going to offer you a lot of freedom down the road. if you do it. So glad you made the call, all of you. Look forward to seeing you. I'll give you a shout out tomorrow. There is some football. I am going to watch the Patriots and see how they do tomorrow. So it's interesting how the games, how these teams are playing out right now and how it's all going. Anyway, everybody, have a wonderful day, and love all of you.